Hello there! Today I decided to do a figure drawing of a skull from Suzanne Brooker's portrait painting atelier. And if you've always wondered why artists draw skulls all the time, it's to study the planes. So that's kind of like the square shapes that are angled in or out at different angles of the underlying structure of the face. So if you're going to draw portraits, you might want to figure out what's underneath all that skin that we have. And so that's why artists draw skulls. One thing that I love about skulls more than anything else is the teeth. It used to be really difficult for me to draw teeth accurately and get them in the right place. But I actually did that over and over and over again in high school during my math classes because I'd get so bored during math that if I didn't have something to draw, I'd literally stare at the board and pretend like I was getting sucked into a vortex into the board. Math was so freaking boring. That was where I did all my best drawings. So if you are in high school still, go ahead and draw during math class. It doesn't affect you. You will do well in math later in life, just as well as anybody who isn't drawing in math class. Although, hopefully you understand the teacher's lessons and aren't just ignoring them completely. I was at least slightly paying attention. But anyways, starting out with this skull, one thing that I definitely did do was I did not get the perspective and the proportions correct. The back of the skull is so long on this. It's like a Neanderthal. I don't even know. It's almost like alien. It's so long. Maybe I rotated the skull a little bit so I could see more of the back, but considering how narrow the front of the skull is, that back of the skull should not be that long. We should not see that much skull. This is not a cute person. Another thing that made me do was I'm trying to get all my shadows in here, and I kind of start with my darkest dark shadows with my pencil so that I can go over them and get them darker when I start to put my other shadows down. But with such a long skull like that, I had to make my mid-tone shadows. I wasted a lot of pencil just trying to blend that in and trying to make it all one tone. And then one thing that I always find with shading is even when I set down a really dark, once I do my midtones, it's not dark enough. So that's always an issue for me. I might start with a lower grade pencil and do that so that I can go back over it with a softer pencil and get my darks darker. Of course, coloring in the teeth, because they're never pure white. They're always kind of dingy, and even like the shadow parts are like darker than the midtones on like the mandible or the jaw. You can tell the light's coming from the right because I actually I colored over those, but that was the end.